If you're an attorney in the pursuit of a successful law practice, fulfilling career, and the life of your dreams, this podcast has it all. Behind the Bench gives you great tools to overcome the unique challenges you face every day as a law firm owner. Welcome to Behind the Bench podcast with your host, Josh Konigsberg, author, partner, and co-founder of Law Firm Marketing Pros and lifelong entrepreneur.
Welcome to another captivating episode of Behind the Bench podcast. This is your host, Josh Konigsberg. As many of you know, I'm a digital marketing expert specializing in helping lawyers and law firms generate more qualified leads online and thus enhancing their law firm revenue. Join us as we explore the fascinating realm of law, featuring insightful discussions with seasoned lawyers, legal experts, and industry leaders. Thanks to our sponsor today, Law Firm Marketing Pros. They get you more qualified leads, more clients, and more profit. I'm super excited today to have my guest, Jaime Paredes. Jaime is the founder and owner of Instead of Billboards and EnterGage videos. Jaime, why don't you take a moment and introduce yourself to the audience?
Hey, Josh. Thank you so much. I'm super looking forward to this. So I was a little bit of my background, Hispanic, living in Miami now, 30 years. My superpower is creating, engaging, differentiating videos for law firms and businesses that want to stand out in this really crowded marketplace.
And I'll give you another superpower. You're a fantastic father. And that is a superpower. So
yeah.
So other than the intro, can you give us a little bit more background? Like, what inspired you to pursue a career in marketing and then transition into video marketing?
So, funny story, since I was like in my early teens, I was more excited about the ads on the Super Bowl than watching the Super Bowl. I've always been a huge proponent of, I've always loved watching really good advertising. That to me was basically my Super Bowl. So, you can imagine growing up watching, I'm Canadian, by the way, growing up watching Super Bowl, I was more attentive to the commercials than the actual game. And that transferred into I worked for multiple ad agencies in Miami and then multiple corporate 500 companies in the area of marketing. But I've always dabbled in video, and not until I had my own company that I decided this is what I wanted to do for companies.
So then tell us a little bit about like EnterGage video, and then you recently transitioned specifically to the law niche with Instead of Billboards. Going back to EnterGage video, how did that get started? How long it's been in business, and what are the services that you provide?
Yeah, so I've been doing EnterGage's been around for almost 14 years. Started like a lot of businesses, SEO, website design, some Google, and then fast forward, got into Facebook and Instagram, YouTube now, and a lot of those platforms, most of the platforms now are very video heavy. I've always had a video background because of my advertising agency background. I enjoy writing, so I enjoy script writing, but more than anything else, I enjoy creating something from nothing. So a lot of times, most people aren't that creative, and I'm generalizing. They know they want to do video, they don't know what to do or how to say it, how to represent themselves. So that's where we come in and we try and we want to be different. Like nowadays in 2024. Just speaking to camera isn't going to cut it, because you're competing against politicians, puppies, celebrities, influencers, and not just against other law firms, against other video companies. You're competing against everybody's. What Gary the famous guy Gary
Vaynerchuk?
Yes, Vaynerchuk. It's an attention economy. Attention. So that's kind of the background there.
So it's more of a disruptive thing that you're talking about. You have to disrupt their scroll and to get their attention.
100%. It's stopping the scroll. And as a matter of fact, my system is called Disruptive Video Marketing System. So it's 100% right. It's disrupting the norm, what they're seeing, and the companies that do that well are going to not necessarily going to win, but they're going to get that attention, which is what everybody's saying is critical. Step one. Forget about how good your product is, how amazing your service is. If you can't get someone's attention, you failed.
So you've transitioned from, and you still have EnterGage video, which provide services across multiple industries, but you've transitioned to instead of billboards. Can you speak to the audience a little bit about that? Because it speaks directly to my audience.
Sure. So working with you closely, very closely, and a few other agencies that work with law firms, I decided that I want to work with personal injury, tort, and immigration for many reasons. Obviously, one of the biggest reasons is they have money to spend on production. A lot of these companies, all these law firms are spending money on billboards. They're spending money on your side of the business, agency work, SEO. Some of them are spending on TV ads. While social media and getting someone's attention is, I want to say, radically different from TV, but there are nuances, right? And if you go to YouTube, and you and I have discussed this, we've seen this with your team, YouTube is a great place to do research and see what other, in this case, PI or immigration are doing on YouTube to understand what they're doing, and B, what they're spending. Because it's very surprising for a lot of people how much money the bigger firms are spending on YouTube, and they're not spending because they have nothing better to do, because they're getting a return on their investment. Make sense?
Makes perfect sense. So that's a great segue into, within the law niche, who's the ideal customer or target aside from immigration, PI, tort? What is there a minimum size firm that you might look for, or is there a certain avatar within that you like?
I'll answer it in a little different way. So you and a few of my clients that I work with, I want to work with somebody that's not afraid to go a little crazy, not afraid to do something different. Because you'd think the typical law firm, it's a partner, 50, 60, a male, white male, talking to camera and saying, this is what we do. Great, awesome. But that's not going to help in what we do. I need somebody, we talked about, you and I, and you came up with this, I think, I believe it was you, coming up with wearing a wig, an English wig with a gown, right? And talking as if, and maybe the background is that we can green screen the background and whatever we want, and you coming in an environment where they're going to stop and go, what's this guy doing? Like stuff like that, that's going to be unique, that's going to be different. I want lawyers, partners in law firms that aren't afraid to move the needle. That's what I'm looking for.
So a perfect example would be the video we created, which we'll be launching next week, of you throwing piles of money at me, as a perfect example. That's a great disruptor.
Yeah, so. Exactly. People the money obviously was fake. They look real. And what I love about that is, I show that to a lot of people, is that you come across as very genuine, and at the end when you smile and you joke, like it wasn't a blooper reel with that. That's not but it came across as this guy's the real deal. So that's another thing too. It's hard to get somebody who isn't comfortable on camera to be comfortable on camera. And that's easier said so than done. It's a lot of practice. It's a lot of, hey, I don't care what I look like. I don't care this is who I am. So that genuineness is very important, and it comes across over a camera.
So then what is your unique selling point or your unique selling proposition?
Basically what I do is the disruptive video marketing system. So what you said at the beginning, it's disruptive video. It's video that you're not going to be getting from your typical agency that's going to have you talk to camera, what it is you do, how you do it. No, we want to make sure that we have 5, 8, 10, 15 videos that are radically different from everybody else. And then we have something called a power video, which you're familiar with, which we record. It's anything from 5 to 8 minutes, where it is you speaking to camera, but we're telling a story. Think of a webinar. I like to always explain it as a webinar on steroids. Typical webinar is a lot of PowerPoints, a lot of text, maybe some graphics, but this is you speaking to camera, usually, and in your case, you're very good on camera, so being prompted by me. And then my editors come in and we fill in the blanks with stuff happening around you to tell a story. So it's basically storytelling using visuals and video. Make sense?
It makes perfect sense. And that's exactly how we're positioning it for our clients. It's a story brand video. So what motivates you to be successful and to win?
Like I said, it's funny because you and I have been part of a group, multiple groups, and only until I believe in the last few months that I discovered what I want, what I like to do, and what I'm really good at. And I love I'm a creative person. And one of the reasons why I feel that I haven't been as successful as I think I could have been is because I never found that groove. I was kind of trying to do a lot of things, make the money. And now I believe that I found what I'm good at. I believe I found that by helping others be successful and giving them something different from everybody else, because I'm not saying we're the only company that does this. Of course, there's other agencies, but most video companies are very conservative, and it has to do with how they believe a video should be. And a lot of times in a law firm, they don't want to take that risk. They don't want to come across as being too radically different. So my point here is I feel that I now found who I am and what I'm good at, and that's what I want to present to the world.
Love it. So what keeps you up at night?
For a lot of companies, it's getting in front of the right people with the right resources, budgets, i.e., to spend with me. Because like everything else, I'm not the only video company in town. So how do I represent myself in a way that is going to allow for people to say, you know what, I'm going to fly him in because he's worth the money, he's worth the time, he's going to produce stuff that we've never done before. And you and I've said this to you, and I think you believe it. I know you believe it. 80% of marketing doesn't work. Of ads don't work. So you have 20% that will. So there's a lot of trial and error. It's not that because of what we're doing, it's people may not resonate with what you're doing, but then you come back and do it again. There's no guarantees in advertising. Of course, we know that, but it's having that mentality that I want to be different. I want to be unique. And this is the guy that I want to work with.
Good stuff. Okay. So what are the key challenges that attorneys are currently facing, and how do you think those challenges can be addressed?
I think one major one is that they're stuck in the typical Google, which is great. I mean, I work with attorneys that Google search is their main. Social media is, especially for a younger crowd, that's where they search. That's where they're looking. And I'm not a huge TikTok guy, but they go to TikTok. TikTok's become a search engine. They're looking for law firms on TikTok. The other thing is YouTube. If you have something that people are either searching, because YouTube's the second largest search engine after Google. If you can educate, but this is the important. I believe in entertain first and then educate. So if you can entertain and educate and inform, that videos will do much better. YouTube is a channel that's being hugely underutilized for law firms because at the end of the day, for example, PI, I can leave this office and get an accident right now. I'm not looking for PI. I'm not looking for one. So getting in front of somebody that is looking is tough. That's why you go to Google. But for people who, let's say I have an ad or a piece of creative that is so good that I'm going to go, wow, that's stuck out. Now I put that on YouTube, put that on Facebook. If I get an accident or someone that I know gets an accident, hey, these guys are good. I saw an ad about these guys. That's what you want. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. I've been saying for years, we would all rather be entertained than educated. That's just the mindset. So one of the things I've seen over and over again from different coaching groups as they bring video in and some of the bigger, well-known video production companies is they create the video for the law firm and then nothing happens. They put it on YouTube and there's over a year, maybe 75 views. So can you discuss the importance of video optimization and distribution a little bit deeper than what you just did, so the attorneys can make sure the right viewers are actually seeing the creation that you've so masterfully created?
Okay. So, what you said earlier, and I believe it, and I think you and I align. It's entertaining. If I'm a law firm, there's how many, you know better than me, law practices, immigration, family, PI, real estate. Okay. I'm not looking for a lawyer. I'm not. I don't need a lawyer. But that doesn't mean in a week, in a month. So it's like everything you do, you have to be there in the right place at the right time with the right message, right? Sometimes when you do video, or a lot of times, you're putting it out there, hoping to educate. But the reality is, there's so many resources to educate myself on who are the best PI. If I can figure out a way that is going to make me resonate with you and like you, there's a better chance when I am looking for that law firm, that lawyer, I'm going to remember you. It's not guaranteed. That's why you have to put out consistent amounts of traffic. Now, there's a gentleman, a lawyer out of, I believe, South Florida. He's brilliant. He's got millions of followers on TikTok, and I don't remember his name, but he does these very animated where he dresses up as a police officer. It's a lot of DUI. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but this guy is brilliant. And I don't know the exact numbers, and I'm paraphrasing here. He went from almost like no one knowing who he is to having a multi-million-dollar law firm off of TikTok videos.
Amazing.
That's crazy.
Amazing. So if he's created an avatar of himself to get in front of the right people to make it entertaining, whereby now they're sharing and it becomes viral.
100%. And his messages, I think it's either criminal or DUI or a combination. And
DUI,
criminal. Okay. And so he tells stories, and he has actors or people from his whatever team, but a lot of it's him playing different roles, and it's fast cuts and it's engaging. It's not just him there's one scene out of 15 of him in his office. Everything else is either green screened or outside or blah, 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 in jail, whatever. So that's what makes it exciting and different.
So again, it's basically describing the disruptive concept that you've come up with. And then he's making it entertaining and therefore memorable, and then it goes viral, etc.
Exactly. And then when somebody goes, I mean, at the end of the day, we talked about, I might not be looking for a DUI attorney right now or a criminal lawyer, but she comes to mind. So that's what you want. You want that. And it's hard to do that when all you're doing is in front of the camera talking about the kind of law you practice. Nobody really cares.
It's a bedtime story, right? That's right. Okay. So when creating videos, what are the key elements? What key elements do you focus on to ensure that the content provides value to the attorney's clients, potential clients?
Good question. So for the last 6 months to a year, there's an 80-20 rule. If you guys have heard that before, I'm sure you have. We focus 80% of our efforts on the first 5 seconds of any video. So the hook, everybody's heard of the hook, the intro. Depending on the platform, you have anywhere from 3 seconds to 5 seconds to 15 seconds. But 5 seconds is the number we use. We want a 100% view rate for the first 5 seconds. If we can establish that, doesn't mean the video is going to work, but there's a better chance that people watch longer. So a lot of times it's because you didn't stop the scroll. You didn't do something to jar the person, whatever they're doing. Remember, they're looking at puppies, they're looking at women, they're looking at politics, they're looking at whatever they're interested in, and you have to stop the scroll. So that's the first 5 seconds is what does that. Make sense?
So yeah. So as I recall, you have the hook, the problem, the solution. The problem is the pain, the solution, and the call to action. 4 sections, right? Four pillars. And
I also like but there's a lot of different templates and structures. Something very valuable for law firms like yourself. Okay, for law firms is our testimonials, social proof. What have you done for others like me that you can depict on video? And not everybody wants to say, and I see a lot of these billboards, especially for PI. This guy got me $300,000. Okay, that's relevant. Because if I'm looking for PI, and I know it, first time I've ever been in an accident, I want to hire a PI. Who am I going to go to? I don't know. In South Florida, thousands of PI? I don't know. So I'm going to remember, okay, this guy got this guy $1 million. Yeah, I want $1 million. Yeah, I'm going to that guy. So people resonate with numbers, say like revenue numbers, percentages to a certain degree, but you want it to make it tangible, something that enough, even though it's not emotional, but don't forget, in video, we haven't talked yet, it's emotional and logical. Entertaining's awesome, but the logical is, this guy got $1 million. I want $1 million too.
So that leads right into the tips that you have for law firms just starting out with video content. And what mistakes should they avoid?
Easy. You don't hire video. You use this, and you do tons of selfie videos. And you structure this. You don't just talk to camera, unless you're like a Josh, like yourself, or people that we know that are really good. But even then, I don't advise it because you start rambling. And what happens when you start to ramble, is that you lose people. So be very concise. Shorter is better in the beginning, 10, 15-second videos. And this is the biggest mistake. Hi, I'm Josh Konigsberg. I know you lost. I don't care. I don't care who you are. So you start, if I'm a PI, we just got Josh, we just got Andrew so-and-so $3 million last week in his case. Like, that's not, I'm going to say, well, that's not amazing, but it's much more engaging than me introducing myself. Hi, I'm the partner of blah, blah. Like, you've lost me. Give me some information that I can digest, figure out what it is you do, and it's going to let me stick around a little more. And by the way, in a video, there's the visual, there's the audio, and then there's the text, right? Typically in a video. So you want to try and include, not always, all three. Make sense?
It makes perfect sense. So what is the technology that you're using to put on an iPhone or smartphone so it becomes a teleprompter? So maybe there's some members of the audience out there that can download that.
Sure. The one I use all the time, and there's a lot of them, I use something called BigVU. Enter U. Big VU. And it's like, yeah, it's about $80 a year. And you can write the script on your computer, and then it'll transfer over to your phone. And then you can have the phone either horizontal for YouTube or vertical for everybody else. And it'll automatically, and then the script it shows, and as you're reading, it's moving down. So it's really simple to use.
Okay, great. That's great piece of advice. So can you share a memorable success story or a challenge that you overcame in your career that holds a valuable lesson? And what did you learn from that experience?
I think it goes back to what I said earlier, is that I'm 52 years old. I'm a lot younger than you. I'm a lot better looking than you. But the reality is I've taken a long time to figure out what I'm good at. I always thought that it was going to be, hey, websites, SEO, Google AdWords, Facebook. What's it I'm good at? What is it that I can help myself, but at the same time help others excel in? And that's, like I said, I don't like saying I'm a video company because there's a million video companies. A production company, I'm a video marketing company. So we're going to create video that is direct response, which means we're going to get somebody to take an action. And we want to be able to tangibly say, this video helped you generate X amount of money.
Love it. Okay. So what are the most significant trends and changes that you've observed in video over the last few years?
AI. So I'm going to say it but most people know ChatGPT for script writing is gold. Right now, I always tell people it's 70, 80% done, but you have to massage it. So then you go from ChatGPT to Hemingway App, which is going to make it sound demified. So everybody, you want to write a script at a grade 4 to 6 grade level. If I'm going to use jargon, it's going to go over most people's heads, especially the consumer for a law firm, for a lawyer. You want to dumb it down. So Hemingway App is the other one. And then Midjourney. Sorry, say something?
Well, let's talk about Hemingway App. Can you tell the audience everybody knows what a ChatGPT is. So Hemingway App, for someone who's never heard of it, what does it do? Just in like 2 sentences.
Sure. So you put in your script and it'll give you red, green, or yellow. Red being, hey, this is you. Well, I don't think you identified. It says your writing should be at a grade 4 level. If your script is all red, you're above grade 4 level. You have to change the words, make each sentence smaller, so that when you're reading the script, it's coming across at a grade 4, 5, 6 level. And it'll tell you green, yellow, green is fine, or no, green is fine, yellow we recommend, in red you have to change this.
Okay, so basically it tells you what sections you need to edit to make a more effective, impactful script, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Got it. And now you had mentioned Midjourney.
Okay. So Midjourney it's part of OpenAI. We're using it more and more. It creates, as an example, like I can go and get a B-roll of a lawyer in a law firm. How about getting a lawyer sitting at his desk, overlooking a volcano, looking down, thinking, holy shit, my business is falling apart. you can never find that. But I can illustrate that, put that as a prompt in Midjourney, and have a 55-year-old white male in a suit. Behind him is his law office. In front of him, he's sitting up and he's looking over the rim of a volcano, and you see it bubbling. Well, you see it, it's image, but you see. So now I've created something that nobody's seen, nobody's even thought about, and I could tell a story with that one visual. And then obviously I can use that in a video, I can use that in an ad, in an image ad, and say, is your law firm, do you feel like sometimes you're about to jump into a volcano? Hey, that's a bad example, but something that, and I don't have to hire, I'd spend a ton of money on a designer to create that. I do that in 7 seconds.
Yeah, love it. Okay. So I know that your prices are incredibly reasonable compared to everything else that I've seen in the law niche. But still, not everybody's who's listening will be able to afford you at this stage of the development. So what video creation tools do you recommend for a law firm on a budget? And is there anything worth investing in, or have you already told us?
Yeah. So obviously we talked about ChatGPT for scripts. Hemingway App is free. Midjourney for creating imagery that's really, really good. There's a software called Runway ML. And it's an AI software. It goes it's a little deeper for me to explain. But I can remove backgrounds. I can animate images. It's about $80 a month. You still need somebody, and as a lawyer, you're not going to operate yourself. Either your marketing assistant or your social media manager. Like there's a couple pieces of software, and there's a lot of them out there nowadays, right? These are the ones that we use. We go back to Disruptive. And it's not just video, Disruptive, everything, images, video, headlines. How do I get somebody on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever, to go, wow, I haven't seen this before. What is this? So it's less about the software and more about what can I create based on my avatar? What are their pain points that I can illustrate via video or an image?
So for someone on a budget, it sounds like it's similar to a solo practitioner who's really managing their own social media, and maybe for a few $100s a month with a smartphone, maybe get a desk tripod, they can be in business.
100%. Yeah. And then the editing, I would probably hire somebody off of Fiverr or Upwork, and you don't want to go too crazy with the edits. There's actually a few, there's captions.ai, which I think is really good. Like if you want to do your own shooting, and then instead of, when the captions come up and you have the illustrations, that's a great software. So captions, I want to see either captions.com or captions.ai. It's very inexpensive, and that'll caption all your videos for you for whatever, $50-$60 a month.
So that's great advice. And so for a very small budget, you can start to experiment. So what are the other emerging video platforms like TikTok? We talked about Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. Are there any other emerging platforms worth experimenting with?
So I haven't done it, but I've heard from people that I have. The former Twitter X is incredible. It's really, really powerful. I'm not a Twitter guy. I've never been, so I can't speak from experience. But I've heard that if you know what you're doing inside of Twitter, it's like Facebook 10 years ago. It's very inexpensive. It's pretty hyper-targeted based on, I want to say it's hashtags or keywords to that degree. Once again, caveat, I don't use it, so I don't know. But I want to say that's, for a law firm, I think it makes a lot of sense. People looking for that. TikTok you mentioned, but a lot of people are like, well, why? As a lawyer, once again, generalizing, 56-year-old male, he's not on TikTok. But your potential customers are, and they are hashtagging personal injury lawyer. They're using TikTok as a search engine. So you might as well, and you talking to camera saying, yes, I'm in Miami, I'm a PI. Nobody cares. You just lost me. It's like you have that much time to get somebody's attention. So put on a wig, do something crazy, and you don't have to dance. I'm not saying you have to sing it, but do something that's relevant to your type of law that's going to make you stand out. And you need a second to go, who's this guy? What's this about? That's all you need. And then you tell your story.
So we talked about AI, and obviously it's a rapidly evolving technology. So where do you anticipate that going in the next just 2 or 3 years from now? If we were to look down the road, I've seen it evolve incredibly. So we talked about Midjourney, and there's something called DALL-E, and Midjourney, in my opinion, is much, much better than DALL-E. And Midjourney is now on 6.0, and the transition has been tremendous. So can you talk about where you think things are going?
I'm in a whole bunch of AI groups, and this is, I don't want to be, over exaggerating, but Pixar and Disney could be in trouble, because you have people that are so creative and that can create imagery, cartoons, animation at such a high level using almost free software. If you can tell a story, if you're a good storyteller and animator, which now, before that would cost you literally tens or hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars to animate a video, your story. Now you can do it in a couple hours, as long as you have a good story. And as a law firm, how would I do that? Tell a story. For example, I'm thinking out loud. This is part of my skill sets. Is okay. Be creative. You're a criminal lawyer. You're not going to mention the person's name, but you can tell the story using animation, using real time, like amazing graphics of this person who did this, who committed the crime, allegedly. And then his story, her story, how you, Mr. Lawyer, helped them. And now where are they? All told using animation, cartoons, done in a couple hours. So now it's, I think, and you know better than me, you wouldn't want to use a person's name. You don't want to, put that out there in the social media world.
Yeah, right. It's not right.
But, and you want to show a face, you can show a cartoon of them. You can do animation of them.
Yeah. Amazing. So are there any additional nuggets of wisdom or insight that you'd like to share with attorneys who are looking to take their law firm to the next level? For example, skills or qualities you believe are particularly important for success as it relates to video.
Attorneys have paralegals, they have assistants, and usually different age groups, right? Obviously, attorneys' time is very valuable. They're not going to probably be on TikTok, Instagram, but your staff can be. I will start creating a folder of really memorable videos that they're going to collect for you of other law firms, what they're doing, putting them into a Google Drive, put them into wherever you want to download them, and you once a week review them. I go, wow, that's a good idea. Okay, I could do that. That's outside of my comfort zone. But every week you assign everybody to do one video a day. I want you to go spend 15 minutes on TikTok, 15 minutes on IG. You Google or not Google, you hashtag whatever law service, and you create a library of what everybody else, and not just in South Florida, in our case. It doesn't matter, wherever. And you collect a library of videos that then you can go and say, I want to do that. And you put your own spin around it. Now it's R&D. It's research and develop, right? You're looking at other people's videos, and hopefully at the same time, not only are you looking at it and liking them, you're finding ones with 1 million views, 100,000 views, 500. Guess what? That worked. Don't because you like the video with 5 views, probably didn't want to use that. Get the video with 1 million views, 2 million views. Something clicked with the person. So figure that out. Make sense?
Amazing. Yeah. Good stuff. So good. So we're going to move on to what I call our lightning round, where people get to know, like, and trust you more. I'm just going to fire off some questions at you, and you just answer them honestly as what comes to your mind. Okay, Jaime? So what never fails to make you laugh?
Monty Python.
Okay. Love it. Made me laugh just saying it. Best compliment you ever got?
You're a good looking guy for your age.
Thank you.
I'm dating. You're welcome.
Person that you trade places with for a day?
Jeff Bezos.
Guilty pleasure?
Oh, it's easy. Peanut butter chocolate ice cream.
Biggest risk you ever took?
Moving to the U.S. with not knowing one person with about literally $2,000 my name.
Worst piece of advice you ever got?
Go after the money, not after what you like.
Something you wish you were better at dealing with?
Finances, numbers.
What is the one thing that you would like to change about yourself?
Oh, it's easy right now. I'm trying to, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm 260 pounds. I got to lose a lot of weight to be healthier.
What are you most passionate about?
My kids. So being a good father and seeing where I can take this business now that I know what I want to do.
Tell us something most people don't know about you.
With the right people, I'm pretty funny. Like I'm pretty serious, conservative. Not conservative. I'm not conservative, but pretty serious. But with the right people, I'm a pretty funny guy.
Okay, so that concludes our podcast today with our fabulous guest, Jaime Paredes. Jaime, thank you so much for joining us today. Our sponsor here has been Law Firm Marketing Pros. Signing off for now, Josh Konigsberg.
Thanks for listening to another fabulous episode of Behind the Bench. I hope you take action on some insight and tips you learned today. If you like what you heard, please like, subscribe, and share.